All right, what's up, everyone? We got a special guest today. We got Tampa Bay Rays legend Kevin Kiermaier today. What's up, Kevin?
What's up, Ty? How you doing, my man? Thanks for
I'm
having me on.
great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready to chop it up with you.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. All right, so starting it off, growing up, where did baseball first become real for you?
Man, I played my whole life, but I feel like I loved it as a kid. Then I didn't like it from like age 10 all the way till like my senior year of high school. Like I played to play and it was just something I always did. And I wanted to quit in high school at one point just because I was like, man, I didn't grow till my senior year and I just wasn't having fun anymore. And some of my other buddies were doing other things, and I was like, man, I'd be happy if I didn't play baseball again. But my dad made me stick it out. And getting to the point of your question, when I got to junior college and I got a scholarship to go there, I didn't have many colleges looking at me. But once I went to my JUCO, and it was a night right before my Christmas break where the Tampa Bay scout who signed me, Tom Houston, was in our gym at my JUCO watching my teammate, and I had no idea who he was. He didn't have anything Tampa Bay on or anything. I just went about the practice um, as I did, and then after the practice, he gave me his scout, like his card, and was like, "I love the way you look, love the way you play. We'll be in touch." And that was a life changing moment for me. And I'm like, for real, my life changed from that moment on. I was like, I'm gonna obsess to see how good I can get at baseball. Like it was like it was crazy, but it was one of the craziest moments of my life. But it was like that's where it all started.
And that's crazy. And
Yep,
so, where did you go to high school and college, and how did those environments shape you as a player?
I went to a high school called Bishop Lewis. It was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's where I grew up at. And looking back on it, like once again, I never wanted to. Like I played just to play. I never wanted to play pro baseball. None of that was in the question. I just played. And my coaches, I'll say this, like they're like baseball, they love baseball, and they taught us how to play the game the right way. That is my main takeaway from what I got out of that. And they always said respect the game, act like you've been there before. So many things that I applied throughout my whole career, and I'm like, man, this is because I had some great old school coaches who respected the game and they just wanted us to do the same. So that's a big part of why. I mean, I did it for myself, but like that was rooted into me as I got older and realized, okay, this is the way these guys say to play the game. So I did, and I never stopped going about it that way. And then, which led me to Parkland Junior College, and I went there because we won a state tournament my senior year, and I didn't have any legit offers or looks or anything. And then right after we got done showering and like got our awards and that, our coach was like, "Hey, this junior college wants you guys to. This coach wants to talk to you guys." And he was like, "Will you take a visit?" We're like, "Yeah." Me and my buddy who went together, and we ended up being roommates there. But it all kind of happened out of nowhere. But my junior college was the best thing that ever happened to me, and like just how everything took off from there. And I started creating this mindset, and amazing things happened after that. But it was, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was the best thing. Like my journey, everything was perfect along the way.
And so, were you always known for being that super defender, or did that identity develop later on in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I was good at it. Still probably better than most at like every level I played at, but nothing crazy. Until I got I feel like I was really good in JUCO, but whenever I started getting to pro ball and like just years after years, I started just getting more experience and smarter out there, and that's where it took off. And I always said when I was in the minor leagues, I'm like, man, I got to do everything, hit and play good and make it to the big leagues. But I remember saying back in like 2011, that was my first full season in the minor leagues. I was in the Midwest League in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And at that moment, I had like true belief where I'm like, man, I'm the best outfielder on the planet. If you ask me, skill set wise and what I was capable of doing, I'm like, I'm in the minor leagues, so you can't tell, but I watch everyone on TV, and I can, get a good visual. I know which balls I would catch and the ones that I wouldn't. And I just felt like I could catch balls and throw runners out and keep base runners at the least amount of bases possible, better than anyone in the whole planet. And then finally, when I made it to the big leagues, it's one of those things where I had an elite reputation right away, and I'm like, man, I've been saying for years that I was going to do this, and that. I just need to get to the big leagues and be in front of all these cameras, and everything else to take care of itself. So I always had like a crazy amount of confidence early on, and I was just fueled, man. I was obsessed with it, and I just was like, I want to try to be the best defender ever. Like, no joke. I'm like, I want to be the best.
You definitely made a statement there, I'd say.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about working your way through the minor leagues. So let's talk about the grind before the show. So you weren't a top draft pick, but was that a chip on your shoulder early on in your career to be better than everyone else?
Yeah, I was the 31st round draft pick, 941st pick overall of the 2010 draft. I was super pissed when I felt that late. I had two great years at my junior college, All American both years, and um, I balled out. And I was told that I was going to get drafted like 8th to 15th round most likely. Had a really good scout day as well, where like I showed these people what I could do and put the numbers up that I needed to. And I had a draft party the second day. I never got drafted like rounds 2 through 30 or that second day. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get picked sometime today. Had all my buddies over. They're like drinking, playing wiffle ball. I got my cell phone on me. I'm like, I'm just waiting for this thing to ring. And it never rang that second day. And then, of course, the third day was rounds 31 through 50. And my name got called shortly on that third day. But I couldn't believe I fell to the 31st round. I thought I was going to go to Purdue. I did after when I went to my JUCO, I committed to go to Purdue um, my sophomore or would have been my junior year, but I chose to sign with Tampa Bay instead because I was like, you know what, I'm ready to play. I have to live off this signing bonus that wasn't very big at all. And I just, I'll just paint a picture. I got a $75,000 signing bonus, and then I cleared 46,000. And it was like, all right, I got to make 46,000 last me until the big leagues because minor leagues you're not getting paid hardly anything. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready to play. I'm the youngest I'll ever be. I'm motivated. I'm making it. Let's go. But it was a grind when you're like a late pick like me. You have to do everything right. Nothing was. I wasn't like guys who get $1 million or $2 million. Like they can go have 3 or 4 crappy seasons in a row and the team is like, hey, we invested a lot of money. We have to make this work. We'll make sure it works. And sometimes it always doesn't, but them dudes get a ton of extra leeway um, compared to guys like me, where it's like, hey, that's chump change, my signing bonus they gave to me. And it's just like, hey, if it don't work out after a year or two, it's just like, hey, whatever. It's just how it goes. Like you draft so many guys and not everyone works out. And it's just always a never ending circle of rotations and in with the new, out with the old type of thing. But it was not easy by any means, but I loved it. I didn't know any better each step of the way, but going back and like looking like how things were in rookie ball, low A, and just how bad things were. And like, but once again, at the time you don't know it and you're sitting here motivated and thinking about just slowly becoming better and better and becoming the player that you're envisioning. And that's why the minor leagues is a beautiful thing because it is a process and much longer for than some would like, but it's up to us. It's up to us to put the product on the field, and we all control our own destiny. And I just wanted to never repeat a level. Any midseason bonus was like our midseason promotion was a bonus, but I never wanted to like repeat low A or repeat high A. None of that. You just wanted to make a progression, and I was able to accomplish just that. And spent 3.5 years in the minors before I made my debut.
And so a lot of fans misunderstand the minor league grind. So what's something you had to sacrifice that fans never really see?
Boy, I mean, it's at the field from 1 o'clock to 11 every day, and you're going out there playing and like in front of no a lot of places no fans. Like Florida State League, a high A league that I was in 2012, we're averaging probably 50 to 100 fans. I mean, in the Florida heat in the dead of summer, and
Right.
it's hard. It's I mean, it's the dog days, and I mean, it's pretty much you never. It's really hard to play with adrenaline in the minor leagues. When you take the field, you're hype and ready to go because you're trying to achieve your dream at the same time. Like it's there's some long days and bad pay and this and that. So we all know that we're doing everything in our power to make it, because if you don't, then you're behind in the real world if you can't make baseball work and you're not making any money doing it. So it's one of those things where it's like, man, you gotta throw all your eggs in one basket and be all in. But just like even for me, like the biggest, I said when I got drafted, I will do whatever it takes to make it to the major leagues. Like this is a dream that started in junior college, and I said I will do whatever it takes. I will not be denied. I'm making it to the big leagues. No plan B. I'm making it. Like that is my mindset. After my first full season, 2011, I played great defense. I did not hit as good, and the Rays are probably saying, if this dude can hit, we are going to have something special, because this dude can play center field better than anyone, and he's fast. He can run the bases a little bit. I just had to come down to hitting. So they sent me to Australia, um, December 5th through January 22nd. I played the second half of this Australian league that they started that year or the year before. This was back in 2011, going into 2012. And I did not want to go. I wanted to enjoy my off season after going, like, being the first, like your first full season is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, because your body, you just never played so many baseball games in your life that matter at the pro level. It's crazy, the workload. And you're young, so you're able to do it. But man, it is not easy by any means. But I knew when I went to Australia, I'm like, man, I got to go travel. I went solo. Like I haven't been on many flights at that point in my life, and I had to fly from Fort Wayne to Atlanta to LA to Sydney, Australia, which was 16 hours. And um, I just felt like such a kid. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. My parents were a little nervous. I'm like, I'll find my way. But um, I missed Christmas, and I knew that. And they're like, hey, and I had Christmas over there all by myself that year. But for me, though, like some people might look at that and be like, oh, that's sad, whatever. And there was a time where I'm like, dang, I wish I was with my family right now. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, I'm here clear across the world doing exactly what I need to. Like the Rays are asking me to come here to play more. They want me to just develop. So that's what I'm going to do. And that league was perfect for me at the time. So little things like that, like it was such a privilege for them to want to pay for me to go out there and play more, and try to make me better and just get more experience under my belt. But at the same time, just from like your personal standpoint, you got to throw a lot of stuff to the side. Family time, um, just time with friends. Like you're grinding all year because the regular season's so long, and then we get such a, like, our off season is months at a time. Or yeah, but realistically we get like a month off, and then once November starts rolling around, you gotta get it. You gotta prepare your body and get after it. So it's a grind within a grind. But I mean, it was so worth it, and I'm so appreciative for all the BS that goes on in the minor leagues. Like only the strong survive, and like the men stick around and the boys filter out. It's so true. Someone told me that years ago, and I'm like, man, you ain't lying.
When you first put on that Tampa Bay Rays uniform, what did that moment mean to you?
Man, it meant the world. That was I made my debut game 163 in 2013, and it was a crazy debut. Ended up popping champagne that night, and everything happened so spontaneously. Like the Rays sent me down to Port Charlotte, and didn't tell me that I had a chance of going to the big leagues. And they told me I was just there after I had the best, like 2013. I was in Double A and Triple A, had the best career year of my life, and I just wanted to go home and chill. And then they're like, hey, we want you to go down to Port Charlotte and work out a little more. I'm like, man, I'm the only dude that was in AAA that's here. I'm the oldest guy here. I balled. What do I need to be in the cages for and moving around? I was so pissed. And then they finally told me like 5 days after I was there, they're like, hey, if our big league team wins 2 or 3 in Toronto, there could be a game 163 versus Texas And if that happens, you might you might be getting called up, and who knows. But the and that's what happened. The Rays, the big league team, won 2 or 3. I got a call at Sunday night at 11:30. They said, "Hey, you're going to Texas tomorrow. Be ready. If we get a lead, you're going in." I was like, "Oh shoot, okay." So this was like what I'm told for my debut, and I got in. There was 40,000 people at Texas Rangers versus the Rays, and it was unreal. Pop champagne the first day I was ever in the big leagues, and then uh, played the wild card game a couple days later. There was 40,000 people at Cleveland, so pop champagne again. So my first 2 days in the big leagues, like it was a party. I'm thinking like, man, every time we win, it's just popping champagne, and it was insane, man. It was incredible. But putting that jersey on, it was like, man, this like I felt like I was born when I ran onto that field in Texas the first time. I felt like I was born again, but like this is like baseball Kev is what I call myself or whatever. But it just felt right, and I was not nervous, and I was like, man, I belong, and I worked so hard to put myself in positions, and it's like, hey, I know, like, let's see what I'm about, and let's go. I'm prepared. It's the same game, just a way bigger stage, but let's go. And I was like so proud of myself with how composed I was and ready. I wanted a ball hit to me so bad. But yeah, we won. It was crazy. And then throughout my whole tenure, like the Rays is all I knew at one point in my career, and I wanted nothing else. And I always said that. Like people always recommend me or want me to go to the Yankees or this or that, and I'm like, man, I love Tampa Bay Rays. This is my life. This is my family. No one loved it more than me. I guarantee that. No coach, no one for the time I was a Ray loved it the way I did. I will stand behind that forever. And I'm like, I'd do anything for anyone, any teammate. The Rays, like they gave me the world. The fans of this community treated me like a king while I was here. And man, it was so special. And I still got so much love for them. So what an organization to come up with, and that's why I'll be here forever. I mean, I still live in Tampa and I love it, and still love when people have great things to say about me. But I mean, it was such an honor, such a joy, all them years, and it was absolutely perfect.
So you're known as one of the best defensive outfielders of your era. How much of that is instinct versus preparation?
Both. I mean, like I said, I dug deep into the outfield stuff early on in my pro career, and I remember them conversation I'm having with myself where I'm like, I'm obsessed. I'm weirdly obsessive over these things, and I didn't like when anyone threw harder than me, faster than me. Like I didn't like the thought of anyone being better at me at something, especially when I had a glove on out there. Like it, and that I wanted to be better than everyone, and I wanted people to know that, and it made me feel good about it. And I was just so proud of the product I put on the field, and I knew my pitchers and teammates and coaches appreciate the way I went about it. So both instinctual. You can always like develop instincts, and just the more experience you get, then you sit here and use these experiences and things, and your thought process as time goes on. That's valuable. But my prep though, I thought was like no one loved it more than me. No one cared about playing defense more than me. No one I could never turn it off, and there was never a time when I went out there and I didn't want to make plays, or wasn't willing to. I was willing to do whatever it took, no matter what the score was. And I just feel like I held myself to a standard that I don't think anyone has ever done. But it's hard for me to say it because there's so many great defenders, and who knows. But in my eyes, I'm like, if someone loves defense and cared about more than me, then I would love to shake that man's hand, because that's what it takes to be great in this game. And there was just nothing better than making plays out there, and making plays for your pitchers, putting your body on the line. Them knowing that I didn't have to do it, but I chose to do it. I wanted to do it. Um, so I always had that mental intent. I'm like, hey, when I'm out here, I'm going to show everybody why I'm the best. I'm going to do everything at a high level, I hold myself to a standard, but I am the standard now. Like that's how I thought. I am the standard of center field defense. It starts with me, with how you want to examine, what you have in a center fielder. So an unreal amount of confidence, but I could back it up as well, and it just fueled me every year of my career.
Is there one defensive play that perfectly represented who you were as a player? And if so, what was going through your head during that play?
I don't off the top of the head, I can't think of a play that represent me. But if you watch a game and I guarantee if you could type in a filter where we're down 8 runs in the eighth inning and someone hits a ball in the gap, there is no way I'm letting that dude thinking he's about to get a triple. There's some guys who are just like, the game's over. I'm busting my butt. You are not getting a triple on me. I do not care. I took offense to that and sometimes it happened, but I know there were so many balls that I would cut down or I would not let that person take the extra base. And once again, sometimes score where it's not even close, but that is just kind of how I was. And I only knew one speed out on the field. And I know for a fact, I never dogged it out there. I ran hard and I was ready for every pitch of my career. And I always said I was going to be. And here I am today, very, very proud of that. And that's why I played as long as what I did. I know I had to do that stuff, but I wanted to see what I was capable of if I created this mindset and just held myself accountable my whole career.
So playing center field takes a very physical toll on your body. How much did your body go through to play the way that you did?
Boy, to the wheels till they fell off is what I did, and that's what happened my last season with the Rays, 2022. I tore both hip labrums before the 2021 season. I was just running in the off season, and they both tore simultaneously. I couldn't believe it when I got the MRI back, and I didn't know what was happening. But the pounding on the turf over the years, it hurt more and more as the years went by, and I felt like my body started to change a little bit, where my low back and my hips were starting to feel where I couldn't bend, like, just it was hard to do stuff. And then once I tore my hips in 21, that's when I was still really good that season. I mean, for having torn hips and all that, I'm very proud of what I played through and all that. 22, it got to that point, but that's what playing center field on turf did for me for years. And if I had to go back and do it again, I would play just as hard as what I did. I'm telling you, you go out there and you don't think of play to not get hurt or live to see another day. You play, like, you react and you do things, and it always meant to me to make plays and play hard and just play the game the right way. And I knew I was going to take my bumps and bruises for it, but I know people respected the way I played the game, and that's the only way I knew how to. Like, I wouldn't, if I was dogging it or trying to be swaggy, and like, I couldn't go home and be proud of that. I knew what type of player I was, and what my instincts were and how to play, and I always went with that. But
And
it's
so
a
you
lot of running out there in center field. Like, I've talked to left field and right fielders, and they say, man, it's crazy because we have like the foul line into our area. But if you're in center field, you're always, whether it's to the left or right or at you. And I mean, them gaps are deep. So there's a lot of running. And, but once again, that's what I loved. I love when we went to big outfields like Detroit and Kansas City, places like that, where I'm like, hey, let me show you folks what I can do with this big old landscape out here. Like, I love that though. So it never bothered me. I never wanted to go anywhere else other than center, but it definitely it takes a toll. But I just always feel like it was nothing I couldn't handle.
and so you played on some legendary Rays teams. So what made those Rays teams special from the inside?
Man, we were so close. We had so much fun on the planes, the buses, in the clubhouse, on the field, and credit to our front office for always bringing in good guys. Like, that's half the battle. Bringing in guys who are gonna fit to what we have going on, type of thing. So definitely got to show front office love to that because they made it easy. But I was definitely like I don't know. I used to do this post game thing that was a lot of fun. This chant that I used to do, and just having a blast on the plane and on the bus. I was the mic guy. I was always up to like I was the energy giver, and I knew I could do it every day, and I knew they could count on me whether I played good or bad. It takes a special someone to do those things, and I wanted to be that guy because I knew once again I could do it every day, and I want to celebrate our wins and make these 8 months as fun as possible. And but my teammates, man, were amazing, amazing. We're always a low payroll team where no one ever expected us to do anything, but we had so many gamers and so many guys who were such great players who never got the love and recognition they deserve. But just so many of those guys throughout the years, and it was such a joy being a part of beating up on bigger teams like the Yankees, Reds, like in our division. It was so fun because those teams hated losing to us, and they're like, "How are they doing this?" But man, we had some great pitching, defense, and some great players that, like I said, made it a blast.
And so, as a leader, how did you balance intensity with supporting your teammates as well?
That was easy. I mean, my it was always easy to support my teammates. They had my back, I had their back, and we're all in this thing trying to help each other succeed and do whatever we can to win as many games as possible. So I mean, it's there's nothing like it. There's nothing like being a part of a team, and especially a baseball team where fans and people are rooting you on and expecting a lot out of you. Or there's a lot of times, like guys will say, pressure is a privilege, and not that we played with a ton of pressure or that feeling every day, but it was like, man, you got thousands of people in this area who are coming to watch us play, and they care about this stuff. And that's why I said, man, it's just such a honor and privilege to put that uniform on and you know, play a kids game for a living, and the joy that it brought me, and you know, the brothers that I'm playing next to, nothing can come close to that.
And so, you played a long time for the Rays. You also played on the Dodgers and the Blue Jays for a year each. So, what was it like playing on those teams, especially being a veteran in the clubhouse, leading the younger guys? What was it like just being around all those teams?
Yeah, signed with Toronto my first year of free agency after my Rays tenure, so that was you know, a very bittersweet time because I knew that my time with the Rays was coming to an end, and it was hard to accept. But I feel like I did the best I could with it, and I went out on a good note with everybody. And but I wanted to test free agency and see. You know, you always hear about what teams would like you, and in free agency you get to find out. And for me, like the Blue Jays poured their hearts out to me after being nemesis with them for years, and so it was really cool. But as a player, you want to be wanted, and the Blue Jays won me more than anyone. So it was the easiest choice ever to play for them, and that was that was one of my favorite years ever. Just me showing a new clubhouse what I brought to the table on and off the field, and who I was and what I was about. I was really excited to show guys that because especially when you're playing an in division rival, like I didn't like the opposition. I'm not sitting here trying to be buddy buddy with guys before a game. I didn't do that. I'm trying to whoop your butt that night, and I got respect for you, but I'm not sitting here like chopping it up with guys before the game. Like I'm with the Rays, and I'm we're trying to smash you tonight, type of thing. But um, it was cool because the Blue Jays guys, they welcomed me so with open arms right away, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a blast. They had some absolute gamers on that team, and that 2023 team might be one of my favorite teams, if not my like most favorite I've ever been a part of. It was incredible, and just having certain teammates that are it's so fun going to battle with some of these guys. And so that was the best thing that happened for me, and it opened my eyes because I was like, man, I'm telling you, like the Rays, like it was Rays everything. I don't care about anything else, and it was really cool for me to see what else is out there, and just appreciate how baseball is as a business game and all that. And then I ended up getting traded to the Dodgers, or signed back with the Blue Jays in 2024, run it back with those guys, and then had my worst year ever, my last year that I played from a personal standpoint. Got traded to the Dodgers because they wanted to try to unlock me offensively, but use me as a defensive like defensive weapon type late inning game when we get a lead. Throw me out there, and that's exactly what my role was. So that was different, but a blast, and I won a World Series because of it, because of my Dodgers teammates and how amazing they were, and the way they showed up every day. That was some. I mean, that those 3 months with them was some of the best moments of my career as well. And going out with the ring and being able to call myself a champion forever, uh, just amazing, amazing to be part of. And baseball rewards you in so many ways. And that's my last moments of my big league career, is being World Series champs there at Yankee Stadium and beating a team who I always enjoyed beating. And I mean, you couldn't write it up for me any better. And that's baseball, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, that game five was insane.
Yeah.
So talking about this, who was the most underrated teammate fans should know more about? So give a teammate any team, give them a big shout out right now that was underappreciated, you think?
Oh man, most underappreciated boy. There, I mean, Mike Zanino, Joey Wendell are the names that pop out to me more than anyone. Great, great guys, great teammates, but man, Mike Zanino, that dude, he would do anything. He would block everything, and the way pitchers loved him, and just how awesome of a guy he was. He was just so easy to respect, and he definitely one of my favorite teammates I ever had. And Joey Wendell coming over at us in 2018. I remember seeing him in spring training, and I remember watching him hit and all this. I'm like, I just don't know if this is going to work. And he seems like a great guy. And he went out and hit 300 that year and had like I lived vicariously through him that year. I swear, I didn't have a good year, and I was trying to get out of it, but the way that dude played defense and just came to the field every day, no one, he was so good. He was so good. And another dude named Logan Forsythe, way back, 2014, 15. He was one of the best hitters that I played with. Sneakily, like he was so good, especially in 2015. This dude balled and then got traded to the Dodgers. And um, but I got to give those guys some loves because they never won the spotlight or anything like that. But great quality players and the dudes that you want to suit up with 7 days a week.
And so let's talk about legacy, reflection. And so when Rays fans think of Kevin Kiermaier years from now, what do you hope they remember most about you?
That I played the game harder than anyone. That's who I was. Like my defense and my effort level. I feel like that's when you think of me. I want those things to come to mind. But uh, to the fans, it's just one of those things. Like I said it earlier. There's no way no one loved Rays baseball more than me. No way. I'll never be convinced otherwise. For the time that I was there and how I could never turn off. Like I never could turn it off, man. I was obsessed with trying to win a World Series and always do whatever we had to do to shut everyone up every year because we were never expected to do anything. And I'm sitting here always looking at our clubhouse and reminding these guys, like, look how much talent we have in here. This is amazing. Let's keep doing our thing and little things like that, man. It was so fun to be a part of. And for like my teammates, it's crazy because I want the fans to think of me one way, but my teammates, I want them to know that man, I once again I cared as much as anyone. I always tried having fun, and I cared deeply for my teammates, man. I always was trying to pick them up, and you always want to see people do well, but it was a brotherhood like no other. And I'm glad I went about the way I did.
And so what motivates you now that you've accomplished so much in your career?
I can't stop, man. I gotta keep going. You never know what's next in baseball. I'm trying to do like my own little thing with outfield, trying to revolutionize this and teach and coach as many people as I can. But knowing me, I need to chase something. And for me, I started like the best chase of my life was trying to become major leaguer when I got drafted. Like that 3.5 year chase was uh, the best chase ever. And then when I was in the big leagues, how to stay in the big leagues and how to be the best player we can be, how to win World Series. Like I was always so highly motivated and was willing to outwork everyone throughout the whole my whole career, and I was addicted to it. I was addicted to being a pro baseball player, and I took so much pride in being one. And um, but yeah, for me now, I'm happy with what I accomplished, but I have a lot to give back to the game. And from a coaching standpoint, I want to see how great I can be at this, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. I want to change people's lives and hopefully connect to them in a way, when it comes to outfield defense, that they unlocking certain things in them that they never thought was possible. But if you train and prepare properly, you'd be amazed with what happens. And if you develop this mindset, whether it's about baseball or anything in life, we're capable of doing some crazy things. And I'm a perfect example of that. No one, like my family, friends, they sit here and talk about it, and like, at times like I'm one of the best center fielders to ever play. And I know I didn't play the most innings or anything like that, but for the 10 years that I played, did incredible things, and everyone knows me. Like, just never, I wasn't ever the best on any team or anything like that. But once again, like I flipped a switch that night in my JUCO, and that scout gave me that card, and it was literally a life changing thing, and it was like a movie. I felt like a movie was happening right there, and then for me to make it and do what I did from there on out, like I'm proud of a younger me. Like I was hungry and I worked, man. So, but that's what it takes. And still, like, I'm never content or satisfied. I want more. I want to see how many people I can help now at this point in my life. And I get a great amount of satisfaction seeing people happy, and whether it's on the baseball field or off. But I want to show guys the way, and show them that there's a certain way to do this, and you'd be amazed with what could happen.
All right, and so for the following, I mean, the closing question, if you could give one piece of advice to a kid chasing baseball the way you did, what would it be?
Boy, that have fun and dedicate yourself like no other, and know that you have to outwork everybody, because they're, especially in today's world, kids are so good at such a young age now, and people are getting after it. And the thought of other people outworking me was just something that I'd never wanted to think was possible. So that it just raised the bar super high for yourself, and start doing things that like I was addicted to surprising myself. I remember hitting I did plenty of times in my career, but like a multi-homer game off of CC Sabathia one time in 2016, and he was we all knew he was going to the Hall of Fame and this and that. But I remember rounding the bases after the second homer I hit off him. I'm like, man, I just hit a multi-homer game off him, and at that point, 2 years into my career, you're sitting here just thinking, what kind of player can I be? What can happen throughout my everything's like all hitting you. But I was addicted to surprising myself and seeing what I could accomplish. But channel this mindset that you might not know you have right now or whatever. But if you can sit here and trick yourself mentally and become a dog, and if you will not be denied of something if you want it, then you'd be amazed with what we can accomplish.
All right, I thank you for that. And so I appreciate you joining us today, talking to me. I appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for having me on, my man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.